we really get this shit popping. I need to find the
Who y'all playing to play now? Y'all played the Timberwolves, right?
the fucking Timberwolves that are
You kicking me, nigga. Send me that call for us too.
imploding on themselves right now, nigga. Everything is working out to our in our favor, bro.
Nah, you seen that quote Trey sent? Nigga, y'all gotta make a decision this summer. It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Trying to find there's a screenshot, and I think it was like NBA PR or something like that. Oh, here it is. Uh,
Yo, send NMZ the co-host and me too, bro. Okay.
NMZ here. All right, there you
Yeah, he's here.
go. So welcome. We are here to talk about the playoff situation. It is now the NBA season is officially over. Jokic is the MVP, just FYI. The NBA
Does he know?
the NBA season is officially over. We have all the standings. We have everything we need to do to kind of have these conversations about the next step of the season, and that is the play-in tournament. As it stands, we have the on Tuesday, the matchup will be the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Well, for those who don't know on how it works on the on in the tournament, the 7th and 8th seed, they have to win just one time to submit themselves into the playoffs. And then the 9th and 10th seeds, they have to win twice to overtake one of the teams in the 7th and 8th spot. Like I said, on Tuesday, we have our first matchups, which will be the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Los Angeles Lakers for the West Coast. And then out east, we have the Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks. And then Wednesday, we have the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Toronto Raptors versus the Chicago Bulls. Um, just as a I guess just as a reminder, the 7th to 8th seed are are the Los Angeles Lakers and the New Orleans Pelicans. Once more, they have to just win one time. And then for the Eastern Conference, the 7th, 8th seed, it's the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks. So that's how everything is kind of shaping up right now. Um, I guess to kind of knock it out the way. KB was talking about it earlier. What are your thoughts on the whole Minnesota situation that kind of just spiraled out of control today? No word if Rudy Gobert will be available to play in the first game of the play-in tournament, or possibly more than likely, McDaniels is going to miss the entire play-in as he broke his hand.
No, he's out. He's out for the
that's a
season.
Yeah, he's out for
yeah,
the
he
season.
broke his hand.
So
He's done.
I guess with those two players potentially, well, McDaniels for sure, but Rudy Gobert's not. Word isn't there yet. How much of a blow is it for those two teams, and what do you see kind of how things shaking up in the matchup between the Lakers and Timberwolves?
Well, NMZ, you want to go first, or you
Nah, go ahead. You can
want me
talk.
to go first? I was gonna say though, yeah, McDaniels hurts a lot. He's obviously their best defensive player. Great defensive guy. Honestly, he's making that leap, and he's a solid offensive player too. So just missing that two-way kind of guy on your team just sucks. Rudy Gobert though, it's strange because like I remember like the Mitchell allegations that like Mitchell obviously addressed and then they squashed, and then the D'Lo allegations that like it's hard for people to play with Rudy Gobert. And then now it's like Kyle Anderson too. So like it's kind of been like three people or two, I guess, who've been having problems of playing with him, and it's been a bit strange to say the least. But I don't know if he's gonna get suspended for the play. There's not really any reports that said that he's not gonna play yet, or reports that he is gonna play. But the Lakers should win this regardless of if he plays or not. I think they're just a better team, and with the loss of McDaniels as well, it's just their best defensive guy who was probably gonna guard LeBron. Now there's no one really to slow him down other than Anthony Edwards, and as much he's great, but not enough to stop LeBron James. I think the Lakers just come out easily and they lock in that 7 and they play Memphis, and I have the Timberwolves losing, unfortunately. So yeah.
I don't know from a Lakers fan perspective. I'm gonna be honest with you. It kind of just worked out way more favorable for us. The last time we matched up with the Timberwolves, we struggled pretty mightily in the first half before Gobert got hurt in the second half. We struggled pretty mightily to keep Gobert and Towns off the offensive glass, and so potentially having both McDaniels and Gobert gone leaves Towns out there to be the only one to kind of bang down low with Anthony Davis, and I think it just makes us more favorable for us. And more importantly, I just look at what that team can do defensively. Missing their two best defensive players should make it even easier for us to kind of walk out of that series pretty pretty easily, in my opinion. I do believe I said series, but the game, you know what I'm saying. I do believe though. I do believe missing both of them will definitely hurt them. And as a Laker fan, even though I wanted the seventh seed, it was a bit concerning the matchup against a team like that because they had the size that could really put us out of position, especially for rebounding. So, all in all, I am happy though because I do think that missing missing Gobert and McDaniels is definitely a major
And
positive,
Nas Reed as well too. Nas Reed was a
and
really good
Nas
backup for
Reed
him.
as well.
Yeah, so now they might have to count on like Nathan Knight for backup 5 minutes, and I don't know. That just sounds very questionable, especially if Anthony Davis is on his A game. They have and Cat is your primary rim protector now without J Mac, without Rudy.
It's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
their interior defense in that first game probably is not going to hold up. I think I can safely say
I was
that.
gonna say though, in the first half,
Facts.
the guys did have trouble of like keeping them off the glass. Even though Rudy got hurt though, I just seen things in the second half that I just liked in general. Even with like, I try to imagine like Rudy on the floor in the second half too, and it was regardless of the fact I think y'all just did a much better job, especially defensively, just boxing out guys and knowing where people are on the floor before even the shot goes up. So that way, just more room for AD to work with to actually close out rebounding, and I think LeBron got in there as well. Regardless if Rudy was there or not, I think y'all should have. You should win this game. This playing game. I think y'all just honestly have a better team and the better players, and people are going to probably be more impactful. And especially like defensively in a playing setting, kind of like semi playoffs. I think Cat's going to be exploited a lot more, especially in those like LeBron and AD pick and rolls. They're probably trying to get him out on the perimeter, even though like he's not that good a rim protector perimeter wise, and when it comes to a lot of like action, gets very confused at times to say the least. So I was pretty like chill on the fact that y'all were playing the Timberwolves. Y'all did have problems against them, but I don't think it was enough for me to like be worried in the sense that you guys will lose that game, honestly. And you guys are at home too, I think. So I think y'all be fine.
Before we move on, what exactly do you take away from this season from Minnesota? They went a whole year basically without Towns, so the offense was not what we expected. It took a while for the Gobert thing to kind of mesh together. All in all, together though, they basically ended the season relatively in the similar situation that they were last year, and now this year. I mean, now tonight everything kind of unraveled with Gobert and Kyle Anderson seeming like they had some type of back and forth. Kyle Anderson got on camera recorded saying some things that may imply that there's been some ongoing issues with Rudy Gobert and some of the other teammates about how they the chemistry, to say the least, isn't meshing well. If you are a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, what do you take out of this season? Because it doesn't seem like it was all that productive from a team that really committed pretty heavily in a roster that's centered around the addition of Rudy Gobert.
It's strange because like before the season started, a lot of people were high on them, and I was like sort of kind of high on them. I thought they would finish a much higher seeding. I thought they'd be like a top 6 seed, to be honest with you, because like I seen things last year that like obviously Anthony Edwards being the player that he is and him improving as a player, I thought that was going to improve as well. I thought the addition of Rudy Gobert was good and it would help Cat in terms of his like defensive negativities and kind of like solving those problems to an extent. I think Nas Reed as like a backup big like it was solid. I didn't expect the improvement of this year, to be honest with you, but it was good. And then just as the season as a whole, I think it was just underwhelming because, like you said, nothing really like fit. To be honest with you, like Anthony Edwards was okay to start. Cat had his injuries, obviously, and then they left him out. And then Rudy Gobert was playing fine defensively. He was like leading lineups. I'm pretty sure at one point in the season where he had like when he was leading lineups, it was like some of the best in the NBA without Cat, and then it started to bring the question of like moving off Cat, and then they had those times where they were meshing well as well. So like I think these last like 2 months or like maybe like a month and a half or like showing what they can do when everyone is healthy. And I think that is a very good team with like McDaniels being there, Nas Reed. Those guys can obviously they're switchable, they're versatile wings and bigs. And I think Edwards being the player that he isn't improving. I think over the last like 30 games he's been playing really, really well. So I think that team could cause some damage next season. It's just about building like the continuity and chemistry and meshing properly, like you were saying earlier, with Kyle Anderson and Rudy Gobert just being not hurt, sorry, having issues. Then it just kind of hinders that to an extent. So it's going to be pretty interesting in the offseason how they're going to like solve this issue. But I'm looking forward to it because I think the ceiling for them it could be like a pretty dark horse kind of Western Conference team to an extent, in my opinion.
Before we go to NMZ, Lucas, it seems like you are a Timberwolves
Yeah,
fan. As a fan, what do you gather from this season?
I would just say I think we kind of have to make changes because we traded for Rudy, we gave up a bunch of stuff, and Cat got injured, so we don't have enough sample size on that. And every time it feels like we're gonna win some games, we're like 5-10 against the worst teams in the league. I don't know if that's a coaching problem. I don't know what that is. And with this Kyle Anderson stuff coming out, I think you just have to make a move. I think you kind of just have to trade Rudy for like 25 cents on the dollar and just cut your losses, I would say.
You think trade Rudy after the first season?
I mean, I don't really. If this is happening with D'Lo, he had problems with D'Lo, Kyle. I mean, I would, and you don't even know if Cat and Rudy can work because you just haven't seen it because Cat is hurt. So I don't really know what your options are.
I think that's you're overreacting
Yeah,
a
I
little bit.
think I
I'm
don't
not
know.
gonna
Well, not only that, I think they just kind of committed too deep into this. I think if you're in
Yeah.
Minnesota, if you had to pick between if Kyle Anderson came to the front office and be like, y'all got to make a decision, it's either he or me. Like Kyle Anderson, you're gone.
Yeah, obviously. I'm just saying, like, we don't know if Cat and Rudy can really work just because we haven't seen the sample size. And I don't know if you can go into year 2 with that experiment and just be like, oh, well, who knows if it'll work or not.
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know. It's interesting. Honestly, I don't know. With the new CBA as well too. Like,
Yeah, that
if
new
they really
CBA
wanted,
is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if the
yeah,
Wolves
that's
have
what I'm
much
saying.
of a
With the
choice. You might
Yeah,
have
I
to
don't
run
think
it
they had
back.
that much of a
but
Who's
choice.
taking that contract?
no one's
Like
taking.
Rudy and Cat's contracts are.
Like,
I mean,
I don't think anyone's really
I'm
taking that
sure you
contract. And
could
then
get
like,
it,
if you were
but
to,
when you
You
factor in
don't.
what you paid to get it versus you said 25 cents on the dollar, like that right there. I mean, that's
it's
a
gonna be
lot to
crazy.
stomach. Like you traded basically almost all
Everything,
your assets.
all your
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
also Nas Reed's eventual free agency and what you guys do with him is going to be interesting because I think he's definitely overqualified to be a third big man on a team. He might be like a
yep,
potential sign and trade piece to kind of help improve your team on the margins, but for now, I think we see Rudy and Cat next year in Minnesota. I think they
I
run it
agree.
back with the both of them.
I agree. I agree. All right, thanks, Lucas. Thank you, man. We're gonna.
I'm looking at the minutes that Cat and Rudy shared the floor together. Like, offensively, it's horrific, but defensively, it's actually really good. They have a 108 defensive rating. So 519 minute sample size too. So like, it hits over that 300-minute
Well,
threshold. But offensively
I,
though, they just been
I
shot.
think I
So
think when they were there, they did similar things to what they try to do with Jokic and a lot of other like even Luka to an extent where even when Towns was in action trying to just ram switch him, take him as far away from the action as possible. The problem at times is that we've laughed about it in Discord where even when they try to like hide Towns, even when he recovers back in position to play defense, it just looks very awkward, and teams may be able to just better capitalize off of it in the playoff settings. I do agree, though, that the one big takeaway is that we basically going another year in Minnesota lore where you're about to enter the real era of Anthony Edwards, his contract situation. We are 1 year closer to that, and you're not really getting any clear solutions and answers to what you're trying to get to. So that's pretty damaging. But all in all, a pretty nothing burger season for a Minnesota Timberwolves team that made a fairly big commitment. On the other side of the bracket, we have the Atlanta Hawks versus the Miami Heat. I personally don't see how Atlanta comes out of this unless Trey Young he just goes supernova and has like a really great game. I think that Miami matches up with him extremely well. In particular, in the front court, there's just not enough I just don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough personnel that can create their own to be a constant scorer against Bam. I do think that Miami has a better coaching on their side, and if Jimmy is playing Jimmy Butler playoff basketball, like I think many people expect him to do, I think that I'm going to lean more Miami in that settings. Atlanta's another team where they made a commitment this offseason, and their playoff run could end very very shortly. May not even make a postseason appearance, depending on if they can make it out of the play-in, because I do think they'll struggle as well in another round as well. But thoughts on the Atlanta and Miami matchup that I'm favoring Atlanta pretty heavily.
I mean, look at Trey's including the playoffs,
I mean, you're favoring Miami.
games.
I mean Miami, excuse me.
Yeah, Trey's 8 or last 9 games against the Heat have not been good. I think the Heat played them 3 times this year with Jimmy in the lineup, and I think the Heat won all 3 matches too. So, and the games in Miami, I think the Heat should be comfortable favorites in that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a whole beam. It's a mid off, brother. Miami Heat finna win that game.
Man.
It's like you said, the personnel that they have to guard Trae Young is legitimately like perfect. You have a guy who's a switchable big who's very good at what he does, obviously in Bam Adebayo, and you could honestly, truly, if you want, just neutralize the entire PNR with Jimmy and Bam. So like it just kind of like destroys the action that they want to run because Trae Young pick and roll is like really really good, obviously. So if you can neutralize that, then offense is shot. So I have Miami comfortably in that one too.
Wait, quick question. Why are the Lakers matching up with the I'm kind of confused. Why are the Lakers matching up with Minnesota?
Because they're 7-8.
Minnesota won the game.
7-8.
They beat the Pelicans, and they moved up to 8th.
Well, I thought the Pelicans had a 40. I thought the Pelicans were 42. I thought they already had 42 wins.
Both teams they have identical records, and the Wolves won the season series 2-1.
Oh, okay. Swiper West. Anybody quick in take on the what you call it matchup?
Yeah, it's the Heat. Yeah, for sure, it's the Heat. I do believe playoff Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo is a real thing. I think Tyler Hero is going to be a real thing. I think the Heat are well positioned. I absolutely see a scenario where they win this game. Come here, and then they end up also possibly like chasing down Boston in the first round when they play them as well. I mean, chasing them down is making it like a 7-game series. But I'm also much higher on Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo than a lot of people are. I think that they're about to absolutely work the Hawks, and I think they're going to be like ready for war come Sunday.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would agree that they win that game. This Tyler Hero playoff version that Swipe was speaking of, I'm not sure it exists. I haven't seen it. That being said, though, yeah, they should get past the Hawks. Hawks can't defend. So even though the Heat struggle offensively, excuse me, I think what Jimmy does best, which is just getting to where he wants to get to on the floor and getting to the free throw line, that will continue. I think Bam will be able to eat in the pick and roll. And even though I think they'll struggle to hit perimeter shots, being the Heat, I think they'll still get what they want offensively, at least enough to win that game. Because Trey also struggles versus them. Like he doesn't play well against the Heat. So I don't know. I got the Heat.
Steve-O, talk to me about your thoughts about the whole DeJounte Murray addition, what they've committed over the past couple of years out in Atlanta. Or your thoughts on like the decisions that they made, and it seems as if like the Hawks have somehow become a stagnant team in the Eastern Conference that's starting to be a bit more fortified.
I think when they made that trade, I was kind of a fan of it. I thought that adding in DeJounte would have been a good pairing with Trey. As we've seen this year, we had a whole coach getting fired with Nate McMillan, and I think that they are kind of in a position where they feel as if like they're kind of stuck. But there has been some upsides with the Hawks as of late since the All-Star break. But in this series not this series, the Miami Heat are they're just a great matchup against the Hawks. And if the only way for the Hawks to win this playing game, Trey's gonna have to have like one of his like 2021 playoffs like performances, and it's gonna be very tough again because Miami is just defensively they have the bodies to neutralize Trey, and is just going to be very, very tough for them to that I can see in them winning that game. But for the Hawks long term, I kind of have a theory where I don't know if they really fit towards it, and I've been thinking about it across the league. I think a lot of teams that when they see success really, 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 really early, like in like maybe the first few years of them trying to be competitive, when you put all your chips in, it's a very, very it's a it's a choice that can either end up being very, very good for the long term future of your team, or it can really stunt the growth of your team. So like for instance in Minnesota, we were looking at the Rudy Gobert trade. They tried to make a win now trade in the process of them, with Anthony Edwards rising with Cat, and right now it looks as if it's not looking too good. I won't say it's the same thing for the Hawks with DeJounte Murray, but the jury's still out on that. But they're still they're in the middle of the pack, to say the least.
Not worth 3 unprotected first round picks as of right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's I just feel like a lot of teams where if you cash in too early, you can make a big mistake in the future of your team. So I don't know. It's kind of
I
stuck
think
for
a big reason they even made the move was the fashion they went out in last year's playoffs, right? The Hawks last year had like no other creators that you could really trust to create offense around Trey. And the way
Yep.
that series was played, like Trey was getting blitzed. There was a lot of pressure on him to create everything for them. So they kind of just said, well, DeJounte represents, and I didn't love the move, but I'm saying I think this was their thought process. Like, we need another guy that can, be like a dribble drive advantage creator for us when Trey is getting all that defensive attention. We'll see what it looks like though in the playing game. Funny enough, because they play that same team.
Question: like since the All-Star break, hasn't like Miami been like a top 3-point shooting team in the league or something like that? Because I saw they took they've had like an uptick, but I don't know what it is. Like,
Unfortunately,
does
Eli's
anybody?
not in here, so I mean Eli would have those numbers.
I can
I
look it up.
can
Yeah, go ahead,
check right
KB.
now. I was gonna say I could check right now. I was just upstairs, but I could check for you. 1 second.
While we do that, AJ, I saw your hand up. I don't know if you wanted to say something, AJ.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about the DeJounte Murray and Trey Young fit. I just don't see how DeJounte is gonna help Trey in this situation this year with the same situation they had last year against Miami. Um, DeJounte, I think he likes it in the pick and roll, things like that. But in a isolation situation or just giving it to him and telling him to create, he doesn't look that good usually, in my opinion, when I watch him. And like he doesn't seem really like I'm looking at some of his stats for this year too. He doesn't look really efficient at all. So I just don't think he's gonna help them at all this year. It's not gonna make a difference in my opinion.
True.
Post All-Star break, Miami is 14th in 3-point percentage. So
Okay.
still in middle.
Okay. I was just told it's been like last 15 games, like they've been.
Last 15.
Yeah.
Let me see.
That's
They've
still
been
not
like
that much
fourth,
different.
fourth in offensive rating or something like
Positive shooting regression. Most of their main shooters have all been down this
They're
year.
8th. They're a top 10
Yeah.
3-point shooting team in the last 15. But third.
That was like their problem during the beginning of the year because like they just couldn't knock down anything. They got similar personnel. It's just the shooters just regress. Like Max Strus hasn't been consistent. Hero, he's been off and on. Like he's been alright. Oladipo
Vincent
in and out. Vincent off and on. Like
Lowry's been a disaster.
Yeah, that's another that goes to just like another cash in where it's like, yeah, you cashed in, but it just did not end up being well. So
The Heat are 12th in offensive rating. You know who's second though in the last 15? Let me stop.
All right. Anyway, on to the other playing matchups. We have the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. OKC has been a sneaky, really good team. Actually, really both sneaky, really good teams over the past couple of months of basketball. New Orleans started off the season really strong. However, Zion went out, and they kind of tapered off post, I want to say maybe mid-January for the rest of February. However, he picked it up recently. Brandon Ingram, when he has been back, he slowly kind of brought himself back up to be the player that he once was in the beginning of the season. And all around, the Pelicans team that had a lot of question marks behind them before the season began kind of filled a lot of those concerns or questions. CJ McCollum has done an okay job as a ball handler initiator, but still all around a complimentary piece the minutes that I've seen from Larry Nance, I do enjoy the energy that he provides. Some of the younger players have also panned out as well. In terms of OKC, admittedly, I have not spent that much time watching them as carefully as I've watched a lot of other teams. However, Goods is, and I believe West are two OKC fans. So we'll pass it over to you two. What do you all see with that matchup? Who do you all have coming out? And please don't be biased and just say Shay's carrying, because that'd be nasty. Nigga.
I thought he would talk first.
Oh.
I can lead it off though. Excuse me. It's a close game. I think closer than some people may think, like who haven't paid attention to the Thunder. I think a lot of people are going into that series and just see, oh, the Pelicans, and just easily be like, oh well, BI, and the Pelicans are on TV a lot more than we are. That being said, though, in that series, I see series in the game, I see like two things that if we focus, like, well, it's not us focusing. If the Pelicans don't do these two things, I think it makes it a lot easier for us to win. If they don't prioritize getting Trey Murphy shots, which they don't do enough, we can win that game. Like, really, it gives us a really good shot at winning that game because a lot of times their offense, excuse me, they get into this. Well, if you take Ingram out of like the offense and just try to scheme him out, whether it's face guarding him, but just keeping the ball out of his hands. A lot of times the Pelicans fall into the trap of, okay, well, CJ is the vet, so it's gonna be CJ get us home. And he's not good. He's not good at basketball anymore. So if we defend them, take Ingram out, and they fall back into that instead of figuring out ways to get Trey Murphy shots, they just let CJ try to be a hero and get them home. I think it'll be a lot easier for us to win. Also, though, I would say Giddey and his ability to create shots alongside, you said what?
I said, and to finish, like he got to finish around the cup. I don't know what's wrong with that nigga sometimes.
I mean, I don't expect him to have a super high scoring game though, but I think as long as his creation is there, alongside SGA, I think that's a legit way we could win the game. Also, Isaiah Joe, what he can provide off the bench and the shooting surplus he could give us, because we know at times, the ways we'll be killed in the game is like probably the Pels on the offensive glass. I think they could really have a field day against us on the offensive glass, but I think we could also use it to our benefit to play Jonas off the floor. Now, some people may say that might hurt us because Larry Nance is the backup five and he could really play well against us because we are undersized as is. But I bank on just I think it comes down to how the Pels play. If we can, if Dort can do anything with Ingram with just keeping the ball out of his hands, if he can be good with ball denial and not letting him get the ball, then in the half court, what the Pelicans seem to go to far too often is, hey, CJ, bring us home. CJ, create for us. CJ, go get a bucket. And if that is what, we can force the Pelicans offense to do, I think we have a real shot at winning that game. But yeah, we'll see.
Oh, good. Anything you got for you?
Oh no. He really said everything. Just like see how we could play Jonas off the floor because he is one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA, and we're terrible at rebounding because, of course,
He not good at
we're
shit
just small.
else though. That's the funny part.
Yeah, he not good at shit else. So just attack that nigga, and get him off the court. Isaiah Joe, like Wes said, and I need Dub to be like really aggressive because I think they're gonna like slant the offense, like the defense, heavily onto Shea. So I just need Dub to be a great cutter, great secondary playmaker, at times because it's either him or Giddey. It's gonna alternate. So yeah, bro, we just got to knock down shots against these niggas because if we don't, bro, like it's just gonna We're just gonna get killed. And Trey Murphy, he will fry us because we tend to leave a lot of shooters open because we overhelp. That's our scheme, but I rather like overhelp off of a guy like fucking Josh Richardson or Najee Marshall than overhelp off of Trey Murphy.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say, good thing they don't have a lot of shooters because they could have used them today. I
yeah,
think they were 3 for 21 from three today. That
Nah,
was a
their
big reason
spacing
they
is so
lost.
bad. Their
A lot
spacing
of the
is so
lineups
bad.
they
yeah,
put around Ingram too, because I think it's safe to say we know what we're getting from Ingram on a game-to-game basis. He's been on a tear lately, but some of the lineup combinations they put around him, especially when the starters come out, are just not great. And you can, like you said, overhelp and make make the floor congested, and you can get away with it against the Pelicans. I remember I was watching the Warriors game a few weeks ago, and Draymond was just parked on the block, like not guarding guys, because their plays are designed where they have guys like Larry Nance just chilling in the corner.
yeah. Herb Jones is one of your other spacers. It's just ew. Like I'm just like Ingram. What he's working with right now is just crazy. Like he's performing at this level. Like we got to give that nigga props. But yeah, I think we come out with the win though.
Yeah, he sat 6 minutes today, and they were a minus 12 in those 6 minutes.
Oh,
Crazy.
damn. I wonder what his on-off is on the season. Oh, shoot, my bad. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Oops.
He's a hater,
Oops. Ah,
bro.
damn. 1 point? Ah, that's crazy. Per 100? Ugh. That's y'all nigga,
On
though. That's y'all nigga,
on
though.
to the other matchup we have on the other side of the bracket. We have the Toronto Raptors and Chicago Bulls. You know, Chicago. Oh man. Jesus Christ, Jesus Louise. Chicago, what a team they've been this year.
I'm not gonna lie. They getting him out of there, though. They getting the Raptors out of there.
Well, so that I mean, I think it's very interesting. I think Raptors, a really solidly coached team defensively. I feel like at times Nick Nurse doesn't have like the attention of everyone on a possession to possession base like he once did. But defensively, obviously with the athleticism from that front court out in Toronto, you can get easy buckets, especially on a team that's going to feature DeMar DeRozan. Regardless if he has a ball or not, just makes it a bit more easier for a team like Toronto to defend some of the better players. However, Zach LaVine has slowly brought himself back to where he once was before. He's playing amazing basketball. Post All Star break, he's been sensational. However, I don't know if they're going to run the offense through him and try to maximize what he can provide to the team, or try to run it through DeRozan and kind of taper off the season with the DeRozan led offense. I personally, I want to say I want to lean more in the direction of Chicago in this matchup, just because I think that Levine's ability to really kind of make it more difficult for the team to kind of execute, and in Toronto struggles offensively at times. But I can easily see a world where that works.
At times.
Yeah, man, they
I'm
they
sorry.
struggle
Go
all
ahead.
the time, bro. The Bulls got it, bro.
I'm gonna be
The
real.
Raptors.
The Bulls last 20 games, I think they're like a +3 net rating, and
Exactly.
in that stretch, Levine has been on a tear type shit. You feel me?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're playing relatively good teams too, bro. Like the Bulls got it, bro. The Raptors suck
Yeah,
for real.
and like the Raptors, like spacing issues. They don't really do anything, to combat that, like offensively. Um,
Yeah.
and like I think that's a big part of the reason why Siakam has not been the level of creator he was earlier in this year. In comparison to what he is now, just because the floor is collapsed a lot more with Pirtle on the court.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
Pirtle provides a lot defensively, I mean, and even recently, like the Raptors have been a fine team, not anything special. And this is with like OG having like the best offensive stretch of his career. Like it's I don't know, man.
It's not looking good.
They're just not good. And like I don't think Nurse is a bad coach, but I think schematically the Raptors make a lot of mistakes. Like they play ultra aggressive when it comes to like the passing lanes, and like a lot of the times their defenders are out of place, right? Like
They gamble.
their defenders are like they take themselves out of the play on like a lot of those gambles, and that in nature creates like semi advantages for the offense type shit. When you don't like, I wonder where the Raptors rank in defensive rating when you just remove turnovers type shit. I would imagine they're like league average or below league average.
They're below league average.
So
How would you know?
Nah, that's crazy.
Ash, our local
Turnover
Chicago,
merchants?
our local Chicago fan, Ash. What are your what are your thoughts on your Bulls against
He's
Toronto?
claiming them again.
Oh my bad. Did I just throw that on him? My bad.
I swear to God, I thought Ash was a Sixers
Yo, I
Oh my bad.
swear
I
to
I thought
thought
he
God, I
was
I,
a
thought you got
Lakers
no
fan.
interest,
What?
DJ. It's crazy how you keep opening rooms.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and I'm not
Nobody
getting that
likes
deep.
you.
I
Nobody
definitely
knows
thought he
you.
was a Lakers
All right,
fan.
bro.
Nobody likes you.
Okay,
Yeah,
Listen,
Ash, you do
listen.
talk
Ash,
to
what?
white women. You can't talk about a nigga getting hoes. Like,
Okay, all right.
either.
Swear
Yeah,
now,
we were,
chill,
and this is a
chill.
professional space, man. We're on.
Come on, man. Yo, Ash, what are your thoughts on the game, my boy?
Nah, fuck you niggas getting disrespected when I came to come talk hop hoops. Fuck niggas, man.
Nigga,
Nah,
I didn't
fuck
say
you
anything to
niggas. I
you. I'm
can't believe this. Nigga out here doing homework. Want to come take his time out of his day, talk some hoops, and you got these sorry ass niggas, Eli and DJ talking shit. You know what? I'm going to do my homework.
I didn't even
You
say
monkeys
shit.
have
I'm
a nice
actually
day.
weak.
Okay.
That's what you.
Any.
Oh, so he left. Okay.
Which then leaves us before we get into the actual playoffs. Just quickly, it leaves us with on the Western Conference we have Minnesota versus which I think we landed on OKC potentially Minnesota and OKC in the final round. And then on the other side of the bracket we have Atlanta versus Toronto. I mean,
Oh, that's interesting.
if Atlanta doesn't win that series, I think because that is it's not series. If Atlanta doesn't win that game, I think that speaks volumes to how far removed they actually are from competing in the Eastern Conference. And what's sad is that I can actually see that being a game in which they lose. As
against
complicated
who?
as against Toronto. I think they
Toronto.
can. I dead ass think Atlanta can lose against Toronto.
Nah,
Dead
they gonna
ass.
lose
Wouldn't
against.
that
But
was
I
the
thought
concern
Toronto
though?
was losing to
They're
the
going to
Bulls, so
lose
how is
against the
the
Bulls because Toronto not making out, bitch. The fuck.
Hey, but
exactly? So
that
how
was
is
their
Toronto going to
concern,
play?
Mo. The Hawks always lose one, then they win one. They've been
Oh,
doing that for the
I'm bugging.
last
I'm
like
bugging. I'm bugging. I'm bugging.
2
My bad. My
months.
bad. Atlanta versus Chicago. I'm so sorry. My bad. My bad. Atlanta versus
You
Chicago.
bugging, bitch.
Low
Stop
fucking up
hyping
with
up
the
Toronto,
plan,
but they're
bro.
not that good, bro.
If
I'm gonna
anyone
keep
wanted
it a
to
beam
know,
with
if
you. Atlanta need to win that one too, though, dog. Dead ass. Atlanta still need to win it. Atlanta's just made like crazy commitments in the offseason. Ash, hold on. This is a word for
yeah,
Ash.
I was about to
This
read
this
that.
is a word for Ash as our local Chicago fan. He said we're losing because we're going to be too small and Billy's an
An
inflexible
inflexible.
dumbass, and he's going to start the smaller lineup and not DJJ. So there you go. I think that Atlanta is supposed to win that series. I mean that game. They need to win that game. But if they don't have the ability to like pull it off, I think it's going to be a lot of concerns to a team that made a lot of commitments to a roster that can't even make it out of the play-in tournament. And more importantly, the type of commitment that they made to the roster in terms of draft capital, and then having to turn around and sign not DeAndre, I'm bugging. Dejounte Murray will be interesting in the upcoming months. And on the flip side, we have who did we say we're going to win against? OKC and I don't think we actually came with an agreement with that. OKC and
OKC and NOLA. I have OKC.
I have Pelicans.
ooh.
I have OKC.
You'll get there, Steve-O. You'll get there.
I think OKC is gonna lock down 8th. Okay, I'm not
Is
gonna
there
lie.
is there a realm where any one of those teams can beat Minnesota with Rudy Gobert available?
Is he available?
Well,
I
I'm
honestly don't
assuming.
think they're gonna suspend him. I don't
Yes,
think
they
But
are.
keep it
Well,
up.
I assume they're going to suspend him for one game. I think they're going to suspend him against the Laker game.
I just I don't see it. I can see them finding him and just saying, like we handled it internally.
But
But it'd
Punching
be so
the
redundant.
job
Like
the league might suspend him because he literally punched a player on the
if
floor.
the league does it, then
Yeah,
yeah.
the league themselves
If the
might
league does it,
actually,
then yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But if let's say hypothetically speaking, Gobert is available, does anybody see OKC in Minnesota, OKC or the
they
Pelicans?
Mac out, bro. I think we could beat the Wolves, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100.
All right, bro. Nah,
They
the
Mac
Wolves
out.
are bad.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think it's a possibility as well. I'll be honest. With the OKC could put Cat in a lot of actions that just makes him look really bad defensively. I think Jade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah,
And then is
There you go.
that nigga Cat not gonna punish no mismatch on that floor, nigga.
Yeah, he's really not.
Yeah,
And shit,
so,
I think you gonna be
I'm
honest.
living with a Shea Cat post up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, Eli, can I
That's
be
low key.
honest?
Is
I
that not a
think
mismatch
Josh
for
Giddey.
Cat? Like
I think Josh Giddey might deadass have his best playmaking game against the
I'm not
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh
like
man.
real shit, bro. When that
He's so serious, bro.
nigga Cat, like if he posting up Shea, is that not a mismatch for Shea? Like in Shea's favor, Shea shit.
Low key.
That
About a
nigga,
year ago this time, Reggie Jackson had him in hell.
that nigga Cat is just ass, dog. I'm sorry, I can't believe I ever defended that nigga. Like, oh my god, he sucks.
Man, bro, that Clippers game from last year just had me in tears. I'm sorry.
He's
I really and truly in the bigger picture, I don't think it really
just a
matters
hilarious
because I
player.
don't think any of these three teams are going to be able to pull off a win against the either one of the number one seeds in the in both conferences. So, with that being stated, we can really get into the real shenanigans.
Let's talk about
Again, I think both.
Goods and West Other Boy. Let's talk about it. I'm ready. I'm so ready, man. Let's talk about it.
Eli, relax. We'll get to it. Yo, let's start East, bro. Let's start East.
Yeah,
Bro.
we're gonna start East. I think once
Let's start East,
like I said it before, I don't think anybody believes that any of those three teams is gonna beat the Bucks, so I don't really think there's no need to break that shit down. Which then leads us to the Boston and Miami matchup. Shout out to Swipe actually said this already before, and I've heard this as well, and Eli is here also. So, is there like any true concerns that Miami has the ability to upset
Next
Boston, or is this
series.
just like,
Yeah, I don't
oh
see it.
wow,
I don't see it.
Next series, please.
I don't
If
see
we,
it
I'm not
either.
gonna lie though.
well Eli,
I'm not gonna
I
lie
see
though.
it, man.
If we do, I don't give a fuck what we do the next round. You niggas will never hear the end of it from me. On God, you niggas. On God, you niggas will
I
never.
think Jimmy has the capability of being the best player in the series, but I don't think I'd still pick them to win.
Eli, don't
No.
worry. If we lose that series, nigga, I won't be here anymore. Trust me.
I hope you won't, nigga, because you'll have to hear from me every single
I
day,
won't be hearing
nigga.
from you ever again if that happened, bro. Like we
Listen,
will never talk
The
ever
talent
listen,
again.
bro. I'm
disparity
not
in that
the
Celtics
Celtics.
Heat
The
series is
Celtics are
crazy.
just the Celtics are
Yeah.
the Celtics are
Like
just
1 through
atrocious. So.
9, they're just way
Yo,
more talented.
Malcolm Brogdon clears so many Heat
If I see
players.
a fucking Udonis Haslam 24 piece on my team, nigga, I'm leaving the
Shut up,
earth.
bitch. Get off his dick.
Nigga, like, damn.
moving
That
on
shit
to
sounded a little
moving
too
on to the
authentic.
rest of the Eastern Conference. I don't think there's
Yeah, that
no
nigga Eli
real
said that shit with too much
convo.
vigor. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any
Yeah,
real combo between Philly and Brooklyn. I think we all agree that Brooklyn should win that pretty
yeah, type shit.
convincingly. I mean, not
Oh
Brooklyn,
wow.
Philly.
yeah. What?
First,
Philly
Okay.
should win that pretty
I don't know.
convincingly.
Mikal Bridges
But
got
that
some
does.
heat in him. I don't know.
bro, this nigga shoot.
Fleet
But
five.
The
then
Bucks
like
and Bucks and
that
4,
35%
does.
the last
Bucks
3
and 4.
games.
Yeah, I think Bucks in 4, regardless of the team that they face. In all honesty,
Bucks and 4.
4 or 5. But then that brings us to I think what I find probably the most interesting first round matchup
Knicks
out,
and Cavs.
and that's the
There is
Knicks and
nothing
Cavs.
interesting about
Cleveland.
that shit. Cavs in 6, Cavs in 5, maybe.
I said the most interesting first
Cavs,
round.
Cavs in
Cavs are
5,
6, bro.
actually. Lucky.
Yeah, I have Cavs and 5s. Yeah.
Are we
JB can get
believing
2
that the
games off.
Julius?
I think
Are we believing that the Julius Randle playoff curse is
He's
real?
still
Curse.
injured though, right?
It ain't
You
no
are the real.
curse. He just ass.
It's just
But
mother. When Evan
low.
Mobley can't
JB
let
gonna save them.
Nigga,
He gonna give him a game.
you
Evan
trying to get that
Mobley
nigga out. That nigga just ass. Like,
Yeah, no.
when Evan Mobley doesn't allow this nigga Julius Randle to go left, he will be throwing hissy fits at his teammates. I don't truly believe
real shit though. Y'all don't
Knicks,
see y'all don't see how like in a playoff series where like shit is close, shit is compact. The idea that the second things go wrong, a nigga on the other side is going to threaten to punch niggas. Y'all don't think that's a negative? Like in the
Oh my God,
fact
Jesus
that
Christ.
KB know about that.
the fact that same nigga in that series is probably going to be turnover prone and inefficient, and things are probably going to be going bad for that nigga a lot. So
the
that
volume in that
nigga's
series
going to
too,
be
Eli.
threatening to punch a lot of niggas. I don't know, man. I wouldn't.
And most of them are his
Yeah.
teammates. So,
Shout out to Julius Randle.
Why
Guys.
does
Another really good
Julius get away with that shit? But niggas like, niggas always talk about Luka whining. At least that nigga whining to the refs, not threatening to kill people. Like, what the fuck? Niggas don't even comment on
All
that
right.
shit.
I need this is what I need everybody to do. Okay, because this is Should we get done with one conference and then move to the West, or just do
You
first
know
round
what
by
we want to
round?
talk about, though. We want to talk
We
about
should get done
Clippers
with one
Suns.
All
conference.
right.
We should do the one conference and then go to the next.
We want to talk about Clippers
All
Suns,
right. Yeah.
man. You know what we want to talk about.
All right. All right. How about this? Let's wrap up the Eastern Conference real quick then. Second round of the East is going to be Bucks versus Cleveland. I don't see a realm in which Cleveland has a chance in that series. I think Bucks should win pretty
Yeah, low
convincingly.
key.
I would love to see what Donovan Mitchell looks like in a series in which he has a point of attack on Drew Holiday, and then both Brook Lopez and Giannis get to roam around and sag off because they don't have to defend actual shooters. I think there's going to be very,
Respect
very
Donovan Mitchell pull up 3-point ability, bro.
yeah. We'll see how that looks with Drew Holiday on it. I think, and I don't think anybody else is going to really contest this. I think that we have Milwaukee kind of walking out of that series in like five at worst 6
If
games.
Bubble Donovan comes out the woodwork, it's gonna be a different series, man.
It's 6 games.
It's 6 games at most.
All right.
6 games at most.
Yeah,
All right.
I got
So
less than 5.
all right. I know that we don't have the Philly fans in here.
I'm
I
glad
know
we
we don't have the
don't.
Philly.
Nah,
I'm
that guy
glad we
here.
don't.
I
Bring that guy
know
up.
the Philly
That guy.
fans are not in here. But let's go ahead and have this. Oh, bad guy is in here. Oh,
Nah,
bad
bring
guy is
bad guy up
here.
here.
Listen,
Oh.
man. Philly's a really
I need
good.
my
Philly's
nigga.
a really good
Where's my
team,
nigga,
man. We
bro?
could very well lose to them, but I just don't trust them niggas, man.
Boston.
Simple.
That's
Wait,
crazy.
Trey
Because I
copping
don't
out?
I'm
think
not
y'all
copping
niggas.
out, nigga.
I don't
We gonna
trust
win
y'all
against them
niggas.
niggas,
Ain't
bro. I
giving
don't trust them niggas,
y'all
bro. I
niggas
just
ain't
told you
giving
that,
me
nigga.
shit to
They
trust
have Doc
either.
Rivers,
That's
they
funny.
coach, nigga. Joel Embiid injury prone as a motherfucker, and Harden's not the same, nigga. We have
Stop
the
yelling,
better
bro.
team, nigga. We have the better coach, nigga. I'm very confident we gonna win this series.
Better
But however,
coach.
Joel Embiid is the MVP, nigga. So you know what I'm saying? It's a chance. It's just not a good chance. You feel me? So like, yeah, I ain't copping out shit, nigga. It's the Sixers, nigga. I'll never cop out to the Sixers, nigga.
Before
I'm not
y'all
gonna
go.
lie. Philly got the clear best player though.
Who gives a fuck,
Before
nigga?
y'all go. Wait. Let me set the scene for
Yeah, that
everybody.
nigga
Does it
Zero
matter?
is mad.
Philly.
Legit does not matter.
All right, okay.
Jesus. Let me set the scene for everybody. Philly and Boston second round matchup. I think everybody's expecting that. Easily going to be one of the more highly anticipated second round matchups. You have a Philadelphia 76ers team that is trying to get over the second round hump. They failed to do so far in the Joel Embiid era. Embiid this year, MVP caliber season, one of the greatest scoring seasons we've seen, regardless of what position, in quite some time. And Harden is also trying to further cement himself with his legacy and playoff production as well. This season, by far, the depth has been there with Maxey still being able to produce at the level that he produced at, as well as Tobias Harris. The questions and concerns I think many people.
I mean,
Whoa.
I
Hey, we
mean,
call
I
we
think
call
I
him
Tobias
number
think
12. We
Harris.
don't say his name over here.
Yeah, we don't call
Number
him
I
12.
that,
Number
think
12.
nigga.
I think the question that many people have when it comes to Philly is not only coaching, especially the positioning that Doc Rivers puts some of his players in, which he's done a little bit of countering by flashing Embiid at the free throw line for most of the season, but more importantly, the backup minutes for Embiid. When he's not on the floor, what does the defense look like? How bad do they kind of fall apart? But probably the bigger concern here is that towards the tail end of the season, both Embiid and Harden have not looked 100%. They've attempted to rest, and hopefully that will be enough to kind of waver them through. I believe a really deep second round matchup against a Boston Celtics team. Where on the other hand, Boston has had their ups and downs throughout the season. At their best, they've looked like the at least in the conversations to be the best Eastern Conference team. Tatum has had his stretches where he and Jaylen Brown have looked like one of the best duos, if not the best duo in the NBA. When at least in the moment, I think LeBron and AD, when fully healthy, is still the best. But when it comes to what they can provide, I think it's pretty well documented. What I think is a bit more surprising for the rest of the team is that the 3-point shooting from everyone has been sensational. Shout out to Al Horford; he's been spectacular this year. The addition of Malcolm Brogdon has been a really great addition to the roster that is needed another ball handler and facilitator. In terms of coaching, you would assume that they probably have the advantage in those regards, even though there is a disparity in experience when it comes to coaching. But the flexibility defensively, being able to potentially kind of cut off a lot what the Sixers do, is probably much more in favor for the Celtics than the other way around. Obviously, the biggest question mark for the Celtics is will they have enough size to kind of bang down low with Joel Embiid or keep up with him even on the perimeter? And in matchups in which Tatum and Brown should be highly favorable, how consistently will they produce to be able to take advantage of those matchups all series long? Thoughts about this series as a whole?
Long
I
ass mute.
personally
What the
have
fuck?
I personally have Boston.
Lie. I'm not gonna
I have Boston in 6. I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all.
I'm not
Yo,
gonna
is
lie.
Tatum gonna make pull up threes?
The issue for Philly is not Tatum. It's JB, my nigga. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
You're
Oh,
like,
brother.
That first game.
God.
I'm just being real. I'm being real.
Why did you lie, bro? Like that?
Wait, what you said, KB?
Why'd you lie like that, bro?
Bro,
You think you wait? You
bro,
think
wait,
Philly?
hold on.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Has Tatum been good since the first game? Like they faced each other this season?
He hasn't been
No.
that great against the Sixers the past 3 games.
Bro, are you finna do all this
Yeah,
shit just to
Monday.
pick fucking Boston anyway?
Yes, nigga.
Shit is
Yes, I
fucking
am.
crazy.
No
Nigga, you know
I
way.
need some
damn
late
well,
picks.
nigga. Come on, bro.
Let me see.
Hey,
I went to
This
Michigan
nigga's
State.
good. Funny. He a funny
Hey,
nigga.
yo.
nah.
Yo,
Last game,
wait, Goods. Are you gonna pick Boston anyway, nigga?
of course, I'm gonna pick Boston, bro.
All
The
right,
last
bad
game,
guy. Please explain to these niggas, Cash.
Hey,
Please
low.
explain to these niggas what's really good,
Nigga,
bro.
what
First
the
of
fuck?
all,
Yo, Lo, no way.
Y'all
No
trying to
way.
trick me. Y'all trying to trick everybody. First, we got to get out the first round healthy. That's what we got to do. Y'all trying to trick us. We got to the second round with no Embiid last year. We would have won that shit too.
no
Y'all really think
Embiid.
I'm
You
playing with y'all?
playing, nigga.
We taking this shit like the Eagles, man. One series at a time, man. We
That's
gonna
why them
fuck
niggas
Boston.
No
lost.
Embiid, but that's the series
We
Embiid
gonna
got
fuck
hurt.
Boston up for
Eli,
real.
you know he was 50%.
Hey,
Stop.
yo, if Embiid make it to the second round,
It's crazy how
yo,
nigga was
for
playing
real,
against.
ain't
Never
nobody
mind.
guarding. And we don't
Never
got no
mind.
competition besides Milwaukee. Straight up and down
That
like the
management
front
hurt
door,
him on
man.
defense when y'all was dick sucking him, but it's cool, man.
I got my young
Bad guy.
boy shooting 50,
Bad
50,
guy.
90 since the All-Star game. What's up?
Bad guy. I do have a couple questions. Are you a bit fearful, especially in the half court setting, of James Harden's ability to kind of still be a competent shot creator when he's going to be defended by players like Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen
Man, I
Brown.
just know it's gonna
Who
be
is going
times.
to
I
tell
just
him?
know it's gonna be
Who
times I
is
need him
going
to
to
knock down
tell
a shot,
Low?
dog.
Hey yo,
I don't
Hey,
want that
good
Who is
nigga.
thing, good
going
thing,
to
good
tell
thing
Low?
Jimbo don't be off ball like that.
I don't want to see
Good
no
thing
step
Jimbo
back
don't be off
Tried to
ball
get
basketball.
like that.
None of
JB
that shit.
off.
my bad. I did not mean to
Bro,
do that.
Trey, it's not even the
My fault.
on-ball defense no more. This nigga meant on-ball
Hey,
too.
Lo, them harder niggas, they better have their bags packed. Cause if you don't come home with a ring, them niggas get the fuck out of here too, man. I'm tired of
Oh
these little
wow.
motherfuckers, man. Straight
Yo,
up and
Cash,
down, man.
chill out,
NMZ, he
son.
calling you
They
out.
kicked me out
He
the group
calling
chat,
you
all
out,
of that
Chill,
shit.
bro.
I
yo,
don't care.
NMZ,
It's
you
the
one of them harder
playoffs, man.
niggas, NMZ.
Yo,
I ain't
get
mad.
Ash in here,
Man,
It's
man.
that's
Ash
about
in here.
crazy,
300 of
Cash.
them niggas.
Get Ash in here.
You said if you don't have his bag, you got
Bro,
to get
this
out of
nigga,
jail.
Yo,
That
this
guy.
nigga Trey tried to
All
get
of them.
the this
Hey,
nigga Trey
Steve-O,
tried to get the
he
good
gonna be
thing
back.
Harden is an off-ball shit off. Like this nigga JB hasn't been
Cash kicking us to the
like this
streets
nigga
like
hasn't
that is
been woefully
crazy.
All right,
bad
cool,
on the
cool.
Y'all
ball.
out of here,
Steve-O, it's
man.
rumors saying
Y'all
that nigga
want to go
going back to
to
Houston. So
Phoenix? You want
shit.
to go back to
I don't know,
I don't give
Trey.
a
I
fuck,
just be
man.
He
hearing.
might be
You
he
can get
might be
the
back
fuck
on
out of
y'all
here
team.
like
I
Just one
Ben
seen
money,
Simmons.
guys.
I don't know,
30.
man.
Get
Just
the
one
fuck
money.
He
out of
he
here,
he's
man.
in Houston
Real
right
shit,
now.
That
real
So
nigga
shit.
better ball out. I don't give a
I'm not
fuck,
even
man.
trying to me
He
ride
ain't,
Trey.
he don't
Real
got to
shit
go
though.
for
I seen
30 points.
38-year-old LeBron blow by this nigga. Blow by. That shit
Okay,
don't happen
okay,
no more, bro. That
okay.
nigga usually gotta use his shoulder.
But
It's
if we're
That's
gonna
your
be honest
nigga.
with
He good
ourselves,
on the ball. Okay, it's cool, man. It's cool.
it's
I just
LeBron
need him to
James,
hit the
nigga.
clutch
Yeah,
shots, man. He gonna be
I will
wide
be in that
open, or
series.
he gonna be having a ball
I
with the
will be
clock
in.
running down and shit. He better hit that shit, dog. I don't want to see no step back. I don't want to see you run into the lane, fucking begging for a foul and shit. It's about time that shit go in, man. I'm fucking tired of this nigga, man. Straight up and down. It's time for a chip, man. It's time for a chip. It's the 76th year of the NBA. Everything is right, man. Everything is perfect. If we healthy, no excuses, man. We should be coming home with the fucking trophy, dog. We got the best player in the league, hands down. And by the way, where is Swiper? Because I already got to look for Joker in the playoffs. I don't want to be looking for him neither.
well,
That's a bar. That's a
he
bar.
might pop back in when we go to the Western Conference.
Nigga said we already gotta look for Joker.
Does No,
Bad guy be
not
sound like Wes.
bad guy. No, not to you. But does anybody else in here believe that the Sixers are going to beat the Boston Celtics?
Okay,
I think it's possible.
It's me
No, it's
against the world.
possible. I
Let's
mean,
go.
it's not like you can't say
let
it's
me
not
say
Nigga
something real
possible.
getting
They're a
quick.
blown
good
by
team.
LeBron.
Let,
This
let me let me
Saturday.
say something real
Oh,
quick.
here comes KB.
This is
Let me say
sad.
something real quick.
Oh
What
my.
do you? I'm not finna say anything
Y'all really
crazy.
gassed that number 7,
Get
nigga.
in
I
the
think.
car, KB. You with me?
Just listen. Hold on, bro.
Bro, can y'all act like y'all got hoes in
That's a
here?
crazy bar, nigga.
Yeah.
That was a
It's
crazy bar.
crazy,
Let me see if I can get process in here. Hold
bro.
on.
But okay.
Oh my
Yo,
No,
please
yo,
don't.
Gus,
Please
chill,
don't.
Gus, chill, relax. Don't do that, bro. But listen, right? I think Boston has more, like, obviously a much deeper team. Talent wise, I think they're better. I do think Joel Embiid obviously is the best player in the series. But to me personally, it comes down to how Joel Embiid operates in certain situations where, like, the Celtics are going to be shading over. Because when I watched, like, plays in the regular season when Embiid was going crazy when he had that, like, 50 piece or whatever, like, there was plays where if it just wasn't going through him, the offense in of itself just looked really bad. Like, I think the Celtics did, like, a solid job at times guarding the pick and roll between those two. And obviously, like, they have guys who can quote unquote switch. You don't want guys switching out on Joel Embiid like mid post or high post, and that's where, like, the shading and doubling comes from. But to me, just like the key part in the series is honestly Joel Embiid's spatial awareness. Because when Joel Embiid actually makes the right pass, even though PJ Tucker went 3 for 3 from 3, he was making the right passes to, like, guys who can shoot in certain spots, and they were knocking them down, right? And that's usually where, like, a lot of, like, 3-point quality looks will come from a James Harden, like, skip pass, or like a cross pass, or like a hockey assist, or sometimes like Joel Embiid would actually, like, notice things in the defense that, like, how they're playing, and he'd make the right reads. So his spatial awareness and where Doc puts him on the floor to make better decisions, it, like, comes down
Well,
to
we know
that.
where he's going to be
I
on the
think
floor.
defensive,
He's going to be right at the nail.
yeah,
That's where he operates.
that's what I'm saying. Like, but the versatility of which you can run, like the versatility of, like, stuff you need to run, it's just a question for me as well. And defensively, I don't
Is
think.
you in the car or not, nigga? I gotta go.
No, I'm in the car. I'm in the car.
Can you
Dad.
remove this nigga?
I'm with you, bro.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie,
KB, you
bro.
is a lot.
I think a big question on
Come
the
on,
Celtics.
KB.
I don't
I
know.
think a
It's
big. I think.
it's hard for me to pick one because I don't know. I think
Let me
Boston's a
fit.
better team,
So why
Yo,
you
but
start
I can
talking?
see
Niggas on standby
like the
and shit.
76ers, like,
yo,
truly
KB.
winning it.
Let me cook though.
All right, go ahead,
A
go ahead.
bit, and I'm gonna ask Trey
KB
this.
just wanted to speak.
Trey, real. I'm not trying to dick eat or nothing, but
Just on my nuts, bro.
if Philly is going to consistently show, like, they're probably not gonna show at the level much, right? They're gonna give JT, like, the opportunity to pull up a lot. Is this nigga gonna continue to
I don't
shoot
know.
29%
Eli. The
on
fourth
them?
game, that's not how they played him, though. The fourth game,
Yeah, they showed
Embiid was
high a lot.
switching a lot more and containing in
I
space.
think we're gonna see a playoff leap from
And
Tim. I think he's not gonna be playing this bad.
the game
Hold
they
up, stop.
wait, NMZ.
Stop.
The
Because the
game
goods
the
every
game they
time.
played.
No, wait, no. Give me my
Wait, I'm trying to
opportunity, bro.
talk to
Because every single
NMZ.
time, no, shut up, Eli.
The
This ain't
game
got
that
nothing
they
to do with you
played
no more. This ain't
December
got nothing to
though.
do with you no more. Stop, please, stop.
Okay,
Yo,
but
goods. You need to get the dick out your throat. Every time someone mentions Tatum,
Jesus
nigga, you trying to
Christ.
be cool, you
Red
trying to fit
bonnet, by
in
the
with the
way.
Twitter crowd,
Red
nigga.
bonnet, by the
Every
way.
time.
Okay, so this is the conversation that I just did not want to have, guys. Trey,
Yo,
just
shout out to Bad Guy, and shout out to Ash and NMZ. I know NMZ being quiet right
Trey.
now.
I know, bro. But just let it go, bro. I swear to God, please. Just let's
NMZ,
talk about the series, bro.
NMZ. Why are you being quiet, bro? Come on, I need to
What do
hear
you
from a
mean,
hearty
man? I was
noise.
just speaking. Listen, I was telling Eli, though, the fourth game, they didn't play it like that, right? He was saying they dropped back. I think the first game for the Sixers
in
Celtics.
December, the game that they played in December though, they didn't show at the
Okay,
level.
so
Y'all let these other niggas get this shit off, bro. No, nigga.
You
Every time
cut
Tatum
Eli
got mentioned,
off.
this nigga can't just handle that he is a better zero than his
In
favorite player right now,
either
bro.
way,
Come
in
on,
either
Wait,
way,
NMZ.
what?
You're a Russ
March
fan,
Come
nigga.
on,
You're a
NMZ.
Russ
Who
fan,
you
nigga.
in the
Please
in
stop.
car or
either
not, dog?
Cash, I'm
way,
with you.
NMZ. Like,
Another first round
We're
exit
knocking them
You
out,
with
loaded.
me?
Cash.
Let's
Yeah,
fucking
okay,
go,
bitch
bro.
ass nigga. We gonna
Let's
talk about
like
it.
fucking
I'm
Tell
just
go.
Tatum.
like,
Tell
how
Tatum
could
finally rise
if
in the
they're gonna
What
fucking
you mean?
play
Wait,
playoffs.
hold
Another
on.
How
Give me
first
a
about
round
beat.
that?
What you
exit.
How about that, nigga?
I didn't mute, by the way. That was
That might have been low.
Jesus, fuck, that's me. Jesus.
bro. One mic, yo, Eli, finish your point.
Wait,
Well, ask.
I do want to hear why NMZ
This is what I was
being
saying
low.
to Eli, right? Because he was talking about the way they
Yeah.
defended Philly in the Philly defended Boston in the previous matchups. The fourth matchup, Embiid switched out in space a lot more. Jaylen Brown didn't play that game, but a big reason why in the previous, especially the third game, was Al Horford in those pick and pop situations was getting practice looks, and that was killing Philly. So when they switched those, you saw in the fourth game, Horford didn't get those clean looks. He was shooting a lot more rushed, hand in the face, all those things. So
either way, like how consistent is how consistent is the decision making when they show high, right?